Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is Monday, June the 9th, and a very rainy start to our Monday. But the rain has moved out just a little bit. Still cloudy skies out there, though. We're going to look at our forecast in just a little bit. If you're tuning in on our website or through our mobile app, thank you so much for watching. And if you're tuning in on our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, anything like that. Don't forget you can always join the conversation there by just leaving a comment. All you have to do if you have any questions or thoughts, suggestions, anything like that, leave it in the comment section. Like I always say, I enjoy getting to talk to you guys in real time during this what I say is an interactive newscast. So if you are tuning in on any of our social streams, let me know where you're watching from and if it was raining where you're at this morning. It was a absolute downpour for me. It seems like the second I went to walk out of the house to come to work, a extra red cloud came over top of where I live, and I was soaking wet by the time I got to the car. All right, so before we jump into the news, let's take a look outside and look over Ridgeland, courtesy of our Renaissance Sky Cam. And you can see that, yeah, it is cloudy out there. Maybe some peaks of a blue in there, but mostly we're looking at cloudy skies, and we are going to be expecting rain for the rest of the week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then at 2:30, our first alert weather team will be in here to give you more details, more in-depth details on the forecast. Let's go ahead and jump into the news now, where the Hazelhurst Police Department have issued a felony warrant for the arrest of Sherrod Jamal Baya of Weston, Mississippi. So here he is on your screen. So he's 26 years old, is 6'2" in height, and he weighs approximately 200 pounds. The Hazelhurst Police Department is asking if anyone with any information on his whereabouts to please contact the Hazelhurst Police Department. They are advising that he is believed to be a dangerous individual. They're asking you not to approach him, but if you do see him, please let Hazelhurst Police Department know, whether by calling the police department or 911. Looking here, Renee Connor tuning in from Brandon saying, yes, it was pouring rain this AM. Yes. And Melissa says, happy Monday, watching from Jackson. And yep, raining here too. I'm pretty sure it was everywhere, but it seems like that downpour that came when I was leaving, maybe it was just the Mother Nature playing a cruel joke on me or something, because it was like sprinkling. I step out the door and it's like a deluge happened. Louise Rushing is saying a good morning. Well, it's afternoon, but still maybe it's morning where you are. Hi, Miss Louise. And Britt, good afternoon from Kosciuszko. Hi, Britt. Appreciate you watching as always. We got some sad news to tell you about regarding a accident that happened in Raymond. So a local college standout basketball player was killed during a four-wheeler accident in Raymond over the weekend. So it happened in the 10,000 block of Midway Road around 11:25 on Saturday, and that's according to interim Hinds County coroner Jeremiah Howard. So Howard confirmed with WLBT that Cameron Woodall, age 26, a former Raymond High School and Tougaloo College basketball player, and another person driving a separate four-wheeler were traveling on Midway Road when Woodall lost control of the vehicle and overturned. He died as a result of his injuries. The other person was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So AMR, the Byram Volunteer Fire Department, Raymond Volunteer Fire Department, and the Hinds County Sheriff's Office all responded to the scene. The Hinds County Sheriff's Office is the lead investigator in this incident, and Sheriff Tyree Jones in a comment said to us, my heart goes out to the family, friends, many loved ones, and Raymond High School and the Raymond basketball community. And our hearts go out to his family as well here from WLBT. So some sad news of that happening over the weekend. And in Jefferson County, MBI is investigating an officer involved shooting that is involving several agencies. So the shooting happened on Crosby Road, according to MBI. Officers responded to a hospital about a woman who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. So, using information from the woman, officers went to a residence. When they arrived, the suspect displayed a gun, resulting in an exchange of gunfire between the suspect and law enforcement officers. So the suspect did sustain critical injuries. He was taken to a nearby hospital. We were told that the agencies that were involved in this were Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, Claiborne County Sheriff's Office, the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, and the Mississippi Highway Patrol. No officers were injured during this encounter. And of course, NBI is currently investigating this critical incident and gathering information. Charles Cooksey, I see your comment here saying, we miss you, Kara, but we know you're doing a great job at Jackson. I appreciate that, Charles. Thanks. That's from my hometown of Meridian, where I was before. Thank you so much for that, Charles. As far as the officer involved shooting, it was MBI again is investigating it, and they normally will not release any information until their investigation is complete. That's just kind of the status quo with MBI doing investigation. However, when we do get an update on this and we receive that information, we will certainly pass that along to you. And some more sad news after a tragic accident over the weekend, a traffic accident that happened in Oxford. So this wreck, it happened around 8:45 on Saturday morning. It was on Highway 30 in Lafayette County. Highway Patrol says that 44-year-old Misty Montgomery was headed east on the highway when she collided with a pickup truck that was headed west. Montgomery and her passenger, 32-year-old Jennifer Campbell, were both killed in this accident. Two people that were in the truck were injured, and they were taken to a local hospital there. And we have a 3 on your side scam alert from the Madison and Rankin County District Attorney's Office. So if you have received a text message saying that you owe money to the DMV for a traffic ticket, they're warning for you not to fall for it. As a matter of fact, I got this text message over the weekend. So Mississippi doesn't even have a DMV, a Department of Motor Vehicles. So that's really the first red flag. This message contains multiple threats, including potential loss of your license, damage to your credit score. The DA's office says you should not click on the link or pay any money. It is a scam. Don't fall for it. I always say, if you can't talk to them over the phone or in person, don't fall for it ever. If you forget a link and get a text, don't ever click on them. Don't click on it. You never know what it can be, especially if it's from a number that you are not familiar with. But that is something that is happening in Madison and Rankin County. DA's office did put out that scam alert. So guys, just be aware. Kim Claiborne says, watching here from Brandon. Hey, Kim, how are you doing? Appreciate you tuning in. So Thalyamara Hall in Jackson can now reopen its doors. That's according to the state fire marshal's office, which completed a follow-up inspection of the city auditorium. So officials say that they conducted a successful hydrostatic test last week to check the integrity of the building's pipes and valves, but elevators and escalators still remain out of service and still need to be repaired and inspected. So late last year, the fire marshal's office cited 22 fire code violations at the city-owned building. A so-called fire curtain was still must be installed, and the city said that will be done next month. So no word yet on exactly when Thalyamara Hall will open, but it has passed big tests so that it can get back open to the public. And of course, as always, we're going to continue to follow this with Thalyamara Hall, and we'll update you. And Kim saying, thanks for clearing that up. She received that text message as well. Yeah, if you get a text message saying that you owe money to the Mississippi Department of Vehicles, it is a scam because there's not even a DMV in Mississippi. So there you go. Well, Councilman Kenneth Stokes had a press conference over the weekend announcing some things that he has coming up planned for Ward 3 over the next few weeks. He's going to be hosting two different parades and celebrations. So the first one is going to be on June the 14th. Councilman Stokes wants to recognize outstanding fathers in the community with the parade. I think this is a great idea. So the lineup for the parade will begin at 11 a.m. at Freedom Corner, and the parade will go down to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, then to the Mary C. Jones Center. Stokes says that it is important that everyone celebrates and supports fathers who are or supports those fathers who are a good example for all in their community.
We have some great fathers, we have some great families, but we just do not say enough positive things about good fathers. We say a lot about a deadbeat dad and some bad fathers who walk away from their responsibilities. But what about the good fathers? And that's what we're trying to put into Jackson, Mississippi with this parade on next Saturday.
So after that parade, just 5 days later, you also be able to celebrate Juneteenth in Ward 3 as well. Councilman Stokes says that he will announce more details for that celebration in the coming days. And Jackson Public Schools is tracking more than $200,000 in funds, and two employees are now on administrative leave after financial irregularities were found in the district. So JPS identified unauthorized and improper disbursement of approximately $221,000 through an internal audit. District leaders say they took swift action by launching a full investigation and implementing what they're saying immediate safeguards to prevent further unauthorized actions. JPS self-reported this issue to the state auditor's office, and Earl Banks, a chief finance and operations officer, says in part, these actions are unacceptable and we are pursuing all necessary steps to correct the issue and prevent reoccurrence. JPS ends a statement posted on its website saying the district is working to get the money back and hold responsible individuals accountable to the fullest extent of the law. As this investigation continues, we will again keep you updated. Angela with Mike Magazine saying hello from Greenville. Hey, Miss Angela, I hope you had a great weekend. Mary Holder is tuning in from all the way up in Nashville. Thank you for watching, Miss Mary. So over the weekend, there was a memorial walk held as some groups here in the metro area recognized National Gun Violence Awareness Day, which was Friday, with a Wear Orange memorial walk over the weekend. So the entire weekend was Wear Orange Weekend. As a way to continue to spread awareness and show support. Show support to survivors of gun violence. Volunteers with Mississippi Moms Demand Action, Students Demand Action, and Center for Hope walked from the Medgar Evers Library to Medgar Evers' home, and they were expressing their frustration and urging people to put the guns down.
4 years ago, I was shot multiple times, and I didn't think I was going to make it. And when I was recovering, I didn't have really a support system. So I wear orange to be the person that I needed.
I've heard people say, you all want to get rid of guns. And that's not true. We just want better laws, stronger laws, stricter laws.
There has been a high number of youth gun violence here in the capital city. Volunteers say one way to help with that is to make sure the guns in your home are locked away from children. And over the weekend, a Mississippi Festival celebrated its 5th birthday with a lot of pickle fun at the Mississippi Ag Museum. So hundreds came out to what is now a Central Mississippi staple on Saturday and on Sunday. It was a fun day filled with everything pickles, the Pickle Fest. So it brought vendors from across the Magnolia State, even some from out of state. There was live music. Then festival organizers say that they love seeing local vendors come out and show off their what they're calling their pickle spirit.
I think it is so fun to see these vendors who, like, we have a lady that she makes cupcakes. Well, to be a part of the event, she made a pickle cupcake. So watching these vendors get really creative, and then seeing our Mississippi farmers come out and really get to a place to sell their produce and their pickled items is really fun to see.
Pickle Fest organizers say the future is bright for them, and they do expect this 2-day event to happen for many more years to come. I didn't get to make it out this year, but I went last year, and it was a lot of fun. Well, before we look at the forecast, let's hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
Hey, Jackson, curious about our water system? Join the Jackson Water Academy to get the inside scoop on our water and sewer operations. 3 sessions, 3 months, and a whole lot of hands-on know-how. You'll even get a behind-the-scenes tour of the O.B. Curtis Water Treatment Plant. So if you're ready to dive in, head to jacksonwater.com/Water Academy or give us a ring at 601-500-5200 to apply. But hurry, spots are going fast.
And again, thanks to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Austin Wade is saying hey to everyone. It's a good day, my friends. Hello to you, Austin. Hope you're having a great day. Let's look at our forecast right now. Look at our current temperatures, actually. See what it's feeling like outside in the mid-80s out there. Probably pretty muggy with the rain that came in and the cloudy skies, but we're looking at mid-80s just across the area. And if we look at our current radar, you can see we do have some rain over in Adams, Jefferson, and Claiborne County. Some more from Louisiana moving in. We are expecting more rain over the next 12 hours. Now, as we go into the overnight hours, it drops down to 0% chance, and we're going to drop down to the low 70s. But if we look at our next 7 days, you're going to see it every day, just about every day for the next 7. There is a good chance of rain, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So make sure you tune in this afternoon at 2:30 for the First Alert Weather Team so that they can give you that in-depth look at your forecast. Let's talk some baseball, Mississippi State baseball to be precise. They have welcomed a new baseball coach. Brian O'Connor has arrived there to Dudy Noble Field, and they are looking forward to next season. So players, students, and fans packed out Dudy Noble Field to welcome the new coach. O'Connor comes from the University of Virginia, where he led the Cavaliers to their first NCAA national title back in 2015. Here's some of what he had to say about his new team.
When you have relationships, you work, and you have development, that leads to one thing: winning. Winning.
So far, 4 former Virginia, not Virginia, not that Southern, 4 former Virginia players have transferred to Mississippi State to be part of the O'Connor era in Starkville. So good luck to them. Austin asking, how is my day going? Also, my day is going great so far. Thank you so much for asking. We have been keeping you updated on the situation that has been happening at a local Jackson apartment complex, Chapel Ridge Apartments. There was trash that was piling up because there was was no one coming to pick the trash up. We'll come to find out that the owner of the property is actually in jail for wire fraud in another state. Then find out that they filed for bankruptcy, not only for Chapel Ridge apartment complex, but other apartment complexes that they own throughout the state, throughout the country. And then we also learned that they are extremely behind on their water bill. Well, the city of Jackson held a meeting at the Chapel Ridge Apartments where residents and city officials discussed the recent issues at the apartment. So 3 on your sides, Teddy Reedy was at that meeting, and he has more from that. Let's hear from him.
I had a lot of frustrations at first, but they kind of soothed it over with the councilman coming in telling us positive things, because we always had a real good positive outlook about this department, because we all stepped in and tried to do things, try to change stuff.
Jackson City Attorney, JPD, and code enforcement came out to the Chapel Ridge apartment complex Sunday to answer any questions tenants had. One burning question was, if the complex has no owner, who do tenants pay their rent to?
So the answer is start looking at ways to get out. I don't think you're going to have any problem getting out of a lease because there's nobody to hold you to one.
Residents living at the apartments have been living rent-free for some time now, with no site management to be seen. All of this has turned the complex into a free-for-all. One big problem the complex is facing are squatters and looters.
The first thing I will encourage everybody to do, if you see someone that's stealing or trying to steal air conditioning units or property, give us a best description of a vehicle, because we know they're not going to be toting it out here in their hands.
One resident highlights the importance of transparency for whoever buys the complex.
We want good, transparent, reliable management. Transparent is the key word, management, and that way they can keep us informed on the changes and things that they're doing, come around and meet us and make sure they know us and we know everybody. To me, that's a real positive step, being transparent.
Councilman Hartley says he wants these residents to feel at home and be happy where they are living. That's why the city has now stepped in to help residents.
What we want to do is add some additional signs that says no dumping, no trespassing. This is like their own little community, okay? And we want to make sure they have everything they need in order to be happy and comfortable here. We don't need squatters coming in from the outside. We don't need people coming in and dumping here. We don't need folks coming in and trying to steal anything.
So that is a current situation on what is going on there at Chapel Ridge Apartments, and we will continue to follow it and keep you updated. So some very exciting things happening over in Vicksburg this week as the search for Miss Mississippi 2025 is underway. 33 delegates arrived at the Vicksburg Convention Center yesterday to begin the week of competition. 3 on your sides, Maggie Wade. Everybody loves Maggie. She is there. She was there to speak with the delegates about the competition and their journey on becoming the next Miss Mississippi.
The 33 delegates will begin preliminary competition Wednesday night in Vicksburg. To start off competition week, 7 delegates have been named Quality of Life finalists, including Miss Capital City, Analia Jolly, for her CSI or Community Service Initiative, Limitless. She was 4th alternate last year.
I was born in Ukraine, and I didn't come to the U.S. until I was almost 12 years old, so almost a teenager, and I didn't speak a lick of English, so I started dancing because I couldn't speak English, and it was just a form for me to communicate without having to speak.
Jolly was adopted from a Ukrainian orphanage.
Kids with trauma, like I was abused, both mentally, physically, anything you can imagine. I mean, I almost died actually 7 times, and I want kids to feel comfortable to connect with their parents, to not only stay in the family, but thrive in the family.
Miss Metro Jackson Gracie Bassett is also a Quality of Life finalist. She made the top 11 in 2024. Her CSI is Hair for Her.
I have donated over 7 feet of hair in my lifetime. That is a lot of hair. I recently donated for the 10th time back in September. It is giving what you have to help others, no matter how simple or how plain it may seem. And even for those who don't have hair to donate, there is still a myriad of ways that they can get involved in the cause by helping me fundraise and by simply giving of your time to organizations like the Hope Lodge in Jackson or the American Cancer Society. There's always a way that you can make a cut and make an impact. It doesn't always have to be hair.
Celeste Lay, Miss Queen of the South, made the top 11 last year. Her CSI, chosen Raising Awareness of Adoption as a Choice, comes from personal experience.
I was adopted at 48 hours old. My birth parents were 16 and 17 years old when they had me, and they knew that they wanted to give their baby life, but that they couldn't provide a life that they wanted to give that little baby.
Miss Jones County, Caitlin Perry, Miss Lee County, Avery Claire Littleton, Natalie Nix, Miss Madison County, and Rose Stafford, Miss Meridian, are all finalists for Quality of Life. The winner will be announced later in the week. Judges' interviews begin Monday morning. In Vicksburg, Maggie Wade, 3 on your side.
This week, we will be talking with the 4 alternates for Miss Mississippi 2024 and several delegates who made top 11 last year who are competing again this year for the title. 4 alternates include Miss Hattiesburg, Jane Granberry, Miss Vicksburg, Morgan Nelson, Sarah Randolph, Miss Mississippi State University, and Analia Jolly, who we just heard from there as well, Miss Capital City. So just keep it tuned in here to Wlbt. We're going to be keeping you updated on all things Miss Mississippi. As a matter of fact, you will be able to watch the Miss Mississippi competition live on WLBT. So make sure you are tuning in and watching it and cheering on your favorite delegate and see who will go on to compete in the Miss America pageant to represent our wonderful state, the hospitality state. Well, guys, that is it for WLBT Plus today. I will be back tomorrow, 2:30 today. Our First Alert weather team will be here to give you a look at the forecast. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe if you do get caught in any rain, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.